Hi there. Today I want to talk about the three biggest questions that were life-changing in my life. They're huge questions, and it is what basically crumbled the old and started the new. And I feel like they're a big deal, and everybody should ask themselves these three questions. The first one, what do I want? This one was huge for me because I know a lot of us out there. I'm a mom, and I know it's really a common thing with mothers. It's common with a lot of people. I know that, like, as moms, constantly we put our children first, and not that I'm not making that wrong or bad, and I don't know that I would change that in some instances. But I think it becomes way too normal for mothers, especially, to actually think about, what do I want? We become so wrapped up in what our children want, what our partners want, what our family wants, what our bosses want, what everyone else wants. And how often do you really, really think about what you want? I realized one day that I was so indecisive all the time that, like, when someone in my family would ask me what I wanted to eat for dinner, and I didn't even think about that. It was never about what I wanted. And when you don't ever ask yourself that, you almost forget, or you don't even know, because when it becomes so used to not having any desire or any want, it makes it really hard to find your passion again. Take it from me. I did a thing today where I was reading back in my journals, and I was so down for so long, so depressed for so long, and I had lost my passion. I had lost my sense of life. And I believe that happens when we forget to really ask ourselves what I want. And so I started a process where I really started asking myself that. Just even start with the little things and take note of it. Like, I would make lists, like, my favorite things, even down to, like, I don't know, my doggy, my uh babies, uh, bubbles, rainbows, sparkles. It could be like little things like that is where it started. And then you start building on and let yourself get excited about the little things, and it brings more passion. I love coloring, and that's really what I would do to pull myself out, is I would start coloring even if I didn't want to, because I knew that I loved it when I felt better. And so I just would start coloring little, I don't know, adult coloring books or even children's coloring books. I just love adding color to things, and um or making art or painting or whatever. And then it just opens up a door, and more things come. Um, so that's the first thing. What do I want? Um, The second question is, why did I choose to come to this life? And this is huge for me, um, because it was huge for me because it really, when you start thinking about why you came here, um, for me anyway, I remember being a little girl and knowing that I came here for a reason and to be a part of something big. Uh, when the new earth coming and releasing the old and bringing in the new, and I knew I was a part of that. And somewhere along the way, I lost my belief in all of that, and my I have a son that passed away several years ago. His little stuff's on the wall behind me. My Joey. And then also like going through all of that grief and stuff was very, very heavy. And so I kind of forgot why I came here. But how it was so powerful when I asked myself that question, why did I come here? I encourage you to just ask yourself that and just let yourself like feel it. And why did I come here to this life? Because we all came here for a reason. We all chose to come here for a reason and chose to come play here or create here or, and that also brings so much light because it gets you excited about what your purpose is. It's fun because it's what your highest excitement is. I mean, kind of, what do I want? What excites me? What is my highest joy? Why did I come to this life? They're all intertwined. Like, I wrote about it a lot, and that helped me come out of my shell and dig out a lot too. It helps you look at the things that you're doing in your life also, and figure out what's in alignment for you and what's not. Because if you're practicing doing all the shoulds, a lot of us forget why we're here. And it's so good to like take a look at that, because are you living your life to what you came here for, to what you get joy from, or are you just doing what you were told you should? And then you get to make some big choices. And I personally find it so much joyful to do the things that I came here to do or that I love to do. And once in a while, it's a good reminder, like, to ask yourself these questions, just to see where you're at, check in, whether you're in alignment, because it's a good way to get yourself back in alignment when you ask these questions. Then the third big thing, am I being honest with everyone? Well, am I being honest with everyone out there? But mostly, am I being honest with me? Am I being honest with my thoughts? Am I being honest with myself? Because when you get conditioned to do all the shoulds and all the living life for everyone else besides yourself, sometimes you don't even know that you're not being honest with yourself. If you're just living a life that's wrapped around in what you should do for everyone else, are you being honest with yourself? And sometimes those things are painful when you realize wow, I've been living a long time uh, telling myself a story that either isn't true, what wasn't true for me, or maybe it was at one point, but it's not anymore. And I've just been living that on replay because I never looked at at it. Am I being honest with myself in everything, even the littlest things? Like, is this really what I want? Be honest with yourself first before you can be honest with anybody else. Like, you really have to be honest with yourself. It really clears things up. A lot of these questions are what really crumbled the old world. And I'm not going to lie, I did get in a lot of fear a bunch of times because it's really hard to let go of what you know to jump into the unknown. And I did have a lot of fear and a lot of pain. And let me tell you something. Fear is false evidence appearing real. That's all it is. And pain, when you let yourself feel it and go into it and really be honest with yourself and ask yourself these 3 questions and let yourself feel the pain, and when you start releasing it, I promise it gets better. You do come out the other side, and that's the only way. The only way out is through. And if you let yourself go through these processes and let yourself feel it, I have gone through a lot of pain releasing some stuff. And, you know, and it's not a bad, I'm not making it bad. Like, and you can, I'm thankful for my pain. You can, it taught me so much. It's releasing a lot of things that I loved, or that, you know, just because I'm releasing them doesn't mean they didn't serve a purpose when I was doing it. So don't make the things you're releasing wrong, is what I'm saying. It was all part of the process. And when you let yourself feel the pain of releasing those things, it does, it's opened my heart so much more, or it's expanded my possibility. And now, even though I am floating in the unknown almost every second of every day, which has taken some getting used to, because sometimes my human mind wants to control what, you know, wants to know where it's going. And I'm telling you, most moments these days, I have no idea. But there's so much possibility here, and I'm getting excited about things and excited about creating things that I want and that I came here for in this life to do, and that I know are honest and true to me. So I encourage you to ask yourself those 3 questions. What do I want? Why did I come to this life? And am I being honest with myself? Sending you lots of love. Namaste.